94111-794-007. I'm from English Literature Study Program, and right now I want to talk about higher education as a tool to reduce social inequalities. So I sent you this because we're not only talk about books, degrees, computers, or else. We are here to talk about universities profound, and that's the most important to do. So, um, we must acknowledge that traditional privilege, inherited wealth, social connection, and family influence often determine who gets ahead, but higher education offers a radical alternative. So, what is higher education as a social elevator? Think of the university as social elevator, a mechanism that lifts individuals from lower socioeconomic strata and places them on a fundamentally different and higher and floor of opportunity. So, the first one, we have a point that breaking the intergenerational cycle. For a student from an impoverished background, a university degree is more than just a piece of paper. It is passport to mobility. It doesn't just change the life of the individual graduate, it fundamentally changes the economic future of their entire family. This is how the cycle of poverty is broken, not through charity, but through empowerment. And of course, we have evidence. Studies consistently show that a college degree is the single best predictor of lifetime earnings and economic stability. By widening access, we don't just solve an academic problem, we solve an economic and a societal one. And second, we have the bridge to 21st century economy. And what is that? The global economy demands complex, specialist skills. Jobs are increasingly requiring critical thinking, technological proficiency, and creative problem solving. That's what we need. These are preciously that skills that higher education cultivates. If we restrict access to those who can afford it, we'll leave massive pools of talent. Brilliant minds from remote village or pure urban areas untapped. By opening university doors, we are not just helping individuals, we are investing in our nation's competitive future and strengthening the entire workforce. And third, we have reducing regional disparities. The impact of higher education extends far beyond the individual student. When universities strategically establish branches or programs in underserved regional areas, they become engines of logical development. They train local teachers, nurses, and engineers. They generate local employment. They become cultural and intellectual hubs, reducing the brain drain from rural areas to major cities. By making higher education accessibly geographically, we are actively participating in regional equity, ensuring that progress and prosperity are not confined only to metropolitan centers. And the imperative of institutional integrity. However, the university can only serve as a truly effective tool for equity if it constantly examines its own structures. We must ensure that our institutions themselves not become new sources of inequality. And of course, we have the challenge that we must address: financial barriers. We must aggressively fight raising tuition fees and the burden of student debt, which affects low-income families. Scholarship and financial programs must be robust, transparent, and widely available. And then a call to action, my friends. The fight against social inequality is not a political one, it is a humanitarian one, and higher education is our most potent non-violent weapon. We must challenge this status. We must demand that our government, our institution, and our communities view every dollar spent on scholarship, grants, and outreach programs not as an expense, but as the best possible investment in a more equitable future. Let us commit to dismantling every barrier, financial, geographical, and cultural that prevents a talented mind from gaining access to the education they deserve. Because when we raise the educational floor for one person, we inevitably lift the ceiling for all of society. Let the university remain the beacon of hope, the engine of mobility, and the true equalizer of opportunity. Thank you.